Welcome back to the Eastern Plains of Colorado here in McCaffrey Farms. If you're enjoying my channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Right now, I'm coming out to our drills. We've already done a little bit of work on them. I did a little bit of filming on it. It's kind of hard because we were changing these points. We put some new openers on. If you saw the video of us drilling the irrigated feed, we had a few that kept plugging up because they were worn thin and had holes in them. Dad already did that. Wasn't very convenient down there, and so I didn't film a whole lot of it. But I'm gonna do a little bit more. Hopefully in the morning I can go back down, finish the cultivating on the corn, then bring the 8400 home, get these ready while Dad is finishing up the disking, because we finally got the cylinder that we've been waiting on. So he'll have to put that on, finish that up, bring the 8400 back, and maybe I can take these down, start planting some feed with them. Saturday, which today's Monday, Saturday we got about 6500s here, about 4500s down south at all the other ground. So we got a decent amount of moisture, and it'd be nice to get stuff planted while still closer to the top. We did get the seed. We got 65 bags of seed. It's like a Sudax 115 BMR. We're gonna have to plant it a little lighter where it's a BMR and on dry land. Hopefully we can get started tomorrow. So I'm gonna do some work on these drills and see where we get to. What I'm gonna be doing on these drills is just going through and checking, because there's a little bit of seed. That one's I think is fine. I'll check them a lot closer. I know maybe this one. We really need to work on these doors sometime. But there's a few spots like right in here. Gonna check because it's been a little while. And these doors have never been really good about keeping moisture out. So the slightest little bit of rain and like a week later, there's some stuff that kind of sticks together, starts rotting. So I'm gonna go through, check all those, make sure there's no rotten grain in the boxes. So then that way we can get that out and it doesn't plug any rows up. We want to get these drills going because harvest is coming up. As you can see, our wheat is nice and yellow. This field here is the farthest behind, and so it'll probably be our last field. The fields are really starting to ripen up. Probably about the 1st of July is what we're hoping for. And so we don't have a whole lot of time to get this stuff planted because we have roughly 500 acres that we want to do. Dad's got a little over 200 acres that we need to finish disking when that disc broke. So he should be able to get that done tomorrow morning while I finish the cultivating and get these going, hopefully. And then that'll be all. Then we could put the 8960 on these drills. That'll pull it better. Start getting the 8400 ready for grain cart and wheat harvest. Soon Dad'll start getting the combine ready too. Things are gonna be getting a little busy here because it seems like we got about 500 things to do and not enough time to do it. But I'm gonna work on these drills, look through them, make sure there's no rotten seed in there, and then hopefully tomorrow we can start drilling. So that right there is kind of what we want to get rid of. The reason we want to get rid of that is 1, because it won't grow. It's already started sprouting. 2, it can get down into the seed cups where the seed is distributed and then goes down through the hoses to get into the ground, and it can plug them up and keep it from planting. We actually had 1 or 2 of those chunks of wheat from when we cleaned these out to first plant this irrigated field. We had that happen a couple times. Another reason we're checking is because we want to make sure there isn't already rotten stuff in there. For example, this one has some of it down in this seed cup already. So that would have hurt how well this placed seed. So like that, we might have to take the hose off and drain it out, so in that way we can get down in there a little bit better and pull that out, because most of it's down under the roll, and that's why we want to get it out, because it all gets intertwined like that when it develops the roots and starts sprouting. And so that can get down into those seed cups and just make it very difficult to get seed out. And then you have to take the hoses off when you're in the field and check them. And what I mean by the seed cups is this deal right here. This is the seed cup. And that is where everything kind of happens with the dispensing of the seed. So as you can see, there's this roller here, and inside there's just a little bit of that roller left, and that roller is what actually dispenses the seed. And over here, I think I showed you in one of my other videos, but for those of you that might not have seen it, this is how you set how heavily you're going to be planting. And so right now we have it set at about 5. The 5th notch on this means roughly 12 pounds, I think, is what we were going for with the hay grazer. And so you pull that lever down, move it to whatever notch you want. Here in a little bit, I'll show you the seed charts up on the lids. That's what we go off of. Seems to work pretty good. We will have to move those where we are going to be planting a different variety that needs to be planted a little bit lighter on dry land. We'll have to move those down a notch or two. I'm not sure. I need to look at those seed charts because we haven't planted that rate before. But as you move that lever is connected to this shaft that these deals are on. So as you move that out or in, it determines how much is left on the inside of the cup. That's how it grabs the seed and puts it down through there, because this shaft turns this way, which then takes those seeds, as you can see right there, lifts them up over this lip and drops them down. So that's why we want to make sure we get all the rotten grain out, because if it gets in there, it can stop the seed from flowing down into the seed cups. Without that seed flow, it can't get that seed down into the tube to go down into the ground, which then leaves a skip in the field. So that's why we're making sure we get all this rotten grain out. Okay, so here is the chart that we go off of for the seeding rate. And as you can see, for example, we are planting sorghum. And so we look here at the notches, which are referring to the ones down by that lever. Notch number 4, if you go down to sorghum, is 10. And that is referring to how many pounds per acre you want to drill. So for this variety that we're going to be drilling, we want to do 10 pounds. So once we get everything ready, we're gonna have to set all 5 of these drill boxes. We're gonna have to go down to those levers and move them to 4. That way they should be planting around 10 pounds an acre. So as I was cleaning this one out, this is drill box number 3, right down the middle on the left side. As I was cleaning this one out, I noticed something a little funky. Right in there, it's hard to tell, but that's a little better. There is sunlight coming in through this drill box. At first I was a little confused because I didn't think of it being sunlight, but then I kind of got to looking around and I found this. That seed cup is not supposed to be like that. Normal. Not normal. I think it's just pulled apart to where if we got all the seed out, we can push it back together. We'll have to check on that in the morning before we put stuff in it. But yeah, that is not supposed to be like that. I got the drills hooked up. Just getting ready to leave the yard. We'll get on the road and get down to the first field and at least get it started and see how things go. Here in about a mile, I'm gonna have to turn and start heading over to those trees right in there. That's where our first field is. So far, everything's still looking good. Looks like it's following decent. Places like this, I have flashbacks from about a year ago when I have to turn left, because about a year ago, that piece right there broke while I was making a left-hand turn, and I then had to go into the ditch. And it was interesting. It held us off about a day and a half. It's a weird feeling looking back and your 50-foot hoe drills are trying to pass you on the right side in the middle of a turn. It was interesting. Hopefully this hitch holds up for a while and I don't have to worry about that again. Just got to the field and I went through and lifted all these up. What it is there's a lock right here, and then right here where the cylinder connects to the wheel. That just helps keep them from sagging down and making these drag while you're going down the road. And so you have to lift them up, slide this deal back, get it above that deal, and then when you let it down, it'll drop down again, and then you can slide it back to where it then goes under these. So in that way, when you're drilling, because you're pulling this way against the way these tires go, that lock helps keep them up so they don't drag. Sometimes we don't do it at all. We don't have a problem with it, but sometimes we do put them under there once we get them folded up and in field mode, but I know he said this one we will have to do. So now that I got those locks undid the way they need to be, we're gonna take our number 1 hydraulic remote and push it forward, and it's gonna start dropping the drills down, and then we'll have to go back and redo those locks, and then we can let the main field hitch down and we'll be ready to go. So like that, drops down like that. The purpose is you slide this back and it comes under here and it keeps this tire from dropping down. But like I said, we don't ever really do it. We have a few times. You just have to kind of watch them and make sure they're good. But this end one, Dad said when he planted the circle and finished up, it kind of started dropping down. So we're gonna do it on this one. And you can tell because as you go in that area, it'll start dragging dirt, so you just gotta look. That's why that handyman jack is right there, because then we can just put it under, jack it up, instead of having to hook up the hydraulics on that end. Makes it simpler, but we're just gonna slide this one back, and sometimes you have to have a hammer for motivational support, but we're gonna slide it back under, then that way that tire won't drop. And we're golden. So now I'll let this hitch down, and then we have some of the Outback hose wrap to help tell which hose goes where. We already got some put on the corn planter and our sweep. We're gonna do these, and I believe the swather and the chisel, and they've already been kind of nice to have. So I'll do that before we unhook, because the hoses are set up right. And then once we unhook, I'll hook up to there, hook the hydraulics up and raise these up all the way, take the pressure off of these cylinders, because we have to move this pin to here, because right now the pin is in there to keep them from dropping down while you're going down the road. We've had that happen. It's not very fun, but we'll move that pin and then we'll be good to start planting. But this one's pretty simple and pretty quick. And just like that, we're ready for field mode. So I'll put the hose wraps on. This is what they are. We only need 2. Put those on before I unhook. Fold that hitch in, hook up to there, and I'll be ready to go. And that's how they look on the hoses. They got 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. Pretty slick if you ask me. We're not gonna do it on quite everything, just the stuff we use the most. Got hooked up, so now climb up here to these and move these 5 pins. And then do that 4 more times. Real quick, I'm just gonna kind of show you how it's doing. I'm gonna dig some seed, at least try to dig some seed, see what it looks like. So far, it looks like it's doing a good job. got quite a bit done. So far it's looking decent. There's still some good moisture where we got about ½ an inch of rain there last Saturday. Today's Tuesday, so a little while ago, but still looking good. But I'll show you kind of what it's looking like right now. So here's some seed. There's actually 2 right there. Probably shouldn't be 2 right there, but we are going in pretty good. A little ways, it's definitely in good moisture. When Dad gets here, I'll have him look at that. There's that one, and right here, a little ways away, there's another one. It's in pretty good moisture too. Hope I can. Right there, there's a little hickory seed. It's working really good. Some pretty good moisture, like I said. We should be pretty good. I know this Friday and Saturday, there's a chance of a little bit of rain again. And so hopefully we can get all this knocked out and get a little bit of rain on top of it again. We are using the 8400 for the first few days. Dad's still got the last field to disc. We did get a cylinder for it. You'll see that in that video. If you haven't already watched it, go watch it. But he's got 160 acres to finish up with it, and then we'll put the 8960 on here. It's got better auto steer. It's a bigger tractor, so it'll pull it better. But for now, we're gonna run this one. This is the field that Dad put anhydrous on a few days ago, probably about a week ago. So we did that because this is the 3rd year this will be in hay grazer. We used to split this 90 acres up into 3 strips of 30 acres. But this is very, very sandy ground, and we've been a little bit drier the last few years, and we've just it kind of got to a point where wheat wasn't growing real great on it. So hay grazer does do a lot better in sandier situations. So we've just decided put it all into one field, start farming it, and constantly doing it to hay grazer. But last year we didn't put any fertilizer of any sort on. So this year we wanted to give it that little bit extra nutrients in the ground, help it grow a little bit better. Hopefully have a little bit better crop. But that's where we're sitting at right now with this field. But anyways, that's gonna be all for this video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy the video, be sure to like it. And if you're enjoying my channel, all I ask you is to consider hitting the subscribe button for me. Otherwise, stay tuned for more videos. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.